In this episode, I go over my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, September 22nd, 2021. What's going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. I am bringing you my top 10 books for New Comic Book Day coming out September 22nd, 2021. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves here halfway through September. I can't believe, I know I say this every time, but time really is just flying by. And of course, we are getting a ton of great new books. It is such a great time to be a comic book reader and collector, because every week is just a good week for comics. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button if you haven't already. I do appreciate that. We had just finished celebrating my 900 subscriber giveaway and milestone that I had just hit here at the channel. So we are continuing our trip to 1K, hopefully hitting that soon. So I appreciate everybody's support and just hanging out and getting to meet everybody here in this community. It's just been fantastic. So with that being said, I just want to remind everybody this is my top 10 picks that I prefer, things that I'm looking forward to for next week. No speculation involved or anything like that, but just really some awesome stories that I'm looking forward to. And hopefully either you're reading them already, or maybe I can, turn you guys on to some things that you haven't been reading yet. So leave a comment in the comment section below. That always helps the video. Let me know if you're reading any of these books, if you are, or if there's anything I missed. Always looking for recommendations. And also, if you are in the premiere chat right now, just want to give a shout out to you right now, hanging out here on this Thursday, 12:30 Eastern is when I premiere these live. So you can catch these premieres if you have the time. Maybe you're enjoying your lunch or whatever it is that you're doing. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me here right now as we get into this top 10. Like I said, make sure you smash that like button. I do appreciate it. Let's start with number 10, though. I'm going to go with it's an Image comic. It's called Frontiersman. It is by Patrick Kindlon, the artwork by Marco Ferreri, and I don't know much about it. I was just scrolling through, seeing some of the new stuff that's coming out. I have to say, I don't know much anything about it. There's one sentence here that I'm reading. It says, Frontiersman is coaxed out of retirement by an environmentalist group, only to find out that being a spokesperson makes him a target for old and new enemies alike. For the superhero reader looking for me. I don't know what that means exactly. I mean, look, I've talked about issue ones. I'm always willing to give stuff a shot, especially when it comes to indie titles. So scrolling through some of the other stuff, there were tons of great series that are coming out, but I wanted to throw this on here just to bring it to your attention. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I'm going to put it on my list as my number 10 pick because just out of curiosity, and I'm trying not to judge a book by its cover or by its description. It doesn't sound like it's something that might not be for me, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. So I'll probably double back and do a follow-up video at some point, kind of breaking it down or talking a little bit about it. So if you are curious, if you're passing on it and you're curious about it later, hit me up. I'll let you know, because I am going to be reading this at least to check it out. And it's an ongoing series, so that was something that caught my attention too. So anything from Image, if they're announcing that it's ongoing, especially, I'm certainly interested in it. So that's gonna be my number 10 pick of the week, Frontiersman, issue number 1 by Image Comics. Number 9, I have to go with Miracle Molly, Batman Secret Files, Miracle Molly issue 1. Did not know that Miracle Molly was gonna have her own little segment here. This is written by Tynion as part of his finishing touches to what he's been doing with the Batman run, everything that he's been building up to. I know that Fear State's going on right now. I'm not entirely sure this particular issue is going to tie into Fear State. I assume it's going to be. Let me see. Yes, it is. It's a Fear State tie-in. So I've mentioned this before. I'm all in on exploring this event that James Tynion is putting together as his final goodbye to Batman before he moves on to other things. So I'm all in on it. I'm gonna try to pick up all the tie-ins, or read all the tie-ins. And it's Miracle Molly. I'm hoping that character becomes a thing. I know Miracle Molly's been created a couple months ago, coming out with Batman 108. I really enjoy what I've read so far. I think a lot of people misinterpret who Miracle Molly is, especially if you haven't been reading Batman and you just look at her. A lot of people just assume that it's another one of Joker's girlfriends, and that's not the case at all. She's very smart and tech savvy, and kind of stands for her own her own beliefs and is not a clown. She's not like a clown. She's not one of the girlfriends of Joker or anything like that. So I really enjoy where this is going. So overall, I'm going to give this a shot. I don't know if this is just a one shot or if this is actually going to be a miniseries of some sort. I assume it's only going to be a couple issues, if anything. And I don't see it in the description here, but either way, I wanted to put it on the list because it's you know, a tie-in, as I mentioned before, for Fear State. So and James Tynion, anything Tynion does, I'm all on board to give it a shot. So that's my number 9 pick of the week, Miracle Molly, Batman Secret Files, issue number 1. Let's see. Let's change it up here. For number 8, I'm going to go with an Ablaze book. It is called He Who Fights with Monsters, issue number 1. It looks really dark, really creepy. Francesco Ardabani doing the writing here. Werther Del Adira doing the artwork and the cover art. Let's see, it looks like it takes place, it's World War II, and the struggle between good and evil is in full force. In Prague, the great Bohemian city is being oppressed by the Nazi occupation, and the population lives in terror, while the resistance forces try to organize themselves in the shadows. It is almost impossible task, with the ruthless SS tightening their grip on every street and neighborhood with overwhelming might. Only one hope feeds the struggle, a crazy hope which rests on the fragile foundations of ancient monstrous legend. Yeah, I see it's like comparing Something Killing the Children comes a Halloween tale that will send shivers up your spine. So it looks super dark. I'm all for it. And again, just with discussing how I feel about issue 1s, if it's an indie title, I'm giving it a shot. So I will definitely be picking this up. Yeah, not even familiar with the creators. So, but it looks very intriguing. So I'm going to give it a shot. So that's my number 8 pick of the week. He Who Fights with Monsters. Let me know in the comment section below if you're picking that up. Curious if I am going to be alone on that. Let's see. Going with my number 7 pick, it goes back to Fear State. Another tie into Fear State. This is like part of the main run here. Batman issue 113. This is Fear State Part 2, it says. Loving it. I'm just absolutely loving it. And I know, I just talked a lot about it, the general Fear State event. I won't go too in detail with everything right now, but I do recommend going back and reading Fear State Alpha issue 1, which was technically a one-shot, but it kind of recapped everything prior to Batman 112, which is really where the tie-in is now, or where the event is now kicked off. So if you have not been reading it, or if you're behind and you want to just get caught up quickly, I would just say dive into Batman Fear State Alpha, and then from there just jump right into the Batman main title. But again, James Tynion just doing tremendous work. Also, shout out to Jorge Jimenez. He has just been doing a tremendous job with this series. I think that even if you are not a fan of this of Batman right now, or how Tynion's writing it, or whatever the case is, because I know that not everybody has been following it, the artwork in this alone, to me, is worth picking this issue up, reading it, flipping through it, just for the artwork. I'm a big fan. I know I've talked about this before, like a priority of like what's more important to you, the writing or the artwork, or like what's the ratio or percentage, I guess you can say. And it's interesting to hear a lot of the different answers that people put out there. For me, it's literally 50-50. Like it can go either way. Like a series can be saved for me if one of the two things are good. Whether it's the story side or the artwork side. So I read comics for both. I love artwork. That's one of the things that really opened me up to realizing how much I appreciate art in general. And then the story aspect of it, obviously, being a storyteller myself, I really enjoy both sides. So if it's a great story, terrible artwork, I'm in. If it's not a great story, but it's amazing artwork, I'm in. I'm going to check out both. I'm going to at least give it a shot. You know what I mean? And the fact, look, it's Batman. It's a main title. It's a main character. And I'm curious about how Tynion's going to finish this. So, but anyways, that's enough about me defending Fear State. I'm all on board with this. So Batman 113, that's going to be my number 7 pick of the week. Let me know if you guys are getting that one. Going into number 6, and again, these are kind of blended, not so much in order, like the, I don't know, 4 through 7. They all could kind of be around the same. But my number 6 pick is an Aftershock book. It is Bunny Mask, issue number 4. Man, I feel like we've gotten so much out of this series, and yet we're only on issue 4, which is crazy to me. Paul Tobin doing the writing, Andrea Muti doing the artwork. I know that Muti has done a lot of other horror type comic books recently. I'm a big fan of what Muti's done. What's it called? Maniac of New York is where I first discovered him. So, and of course, Aftershock, you guys know, I mean, I'm all on board with anything that they're doing to at least give it a shot. And I know this is a issue 4 now at this point. But man, this is really good. I mean, it's really, it's just dark. It's just eerie. I mean, there's a lot of random parts to it, but yeah, it makes sense. And all the while we're trying to learn this creature who is named Bunny Mask, this girl that you can see on the cover here, wearing literally a bunny mask. But more so just interested to see how all these characters are tied in together. You have the main character, the main guy, the police officer, and he's kind of having this reconnection with the girl that he met in this cave a long time ago when she was, when they were both trapped by this psycho who was making them dig under the house, all this crazy stuff. And then they were rescued by Bunny Mask, all this, yeah. Anyways, this is issue 4. If you guys are not reading it, I do recommend it. I don't think you're too far behind. I don't know if this is 5 issues. I hope it's not. I hope it's a lot more than that. I hope this is ongoing. I know Aftershock usually puts out 5 issues only, and then from there they see how it does. If it has, sometimes the writer just buttons it up and finishes it off. Other times the writer has more that they want to tell, and they turn out to be longer series later on. So with the way this is going, I'm hoping that there's a lot more than just 5 issues, but we will see. But in the meantime, that's my number 6 pick of the week, Bunny Mask issue number 4. All right, we are halfway through the list, and before I go into my final 5 here, I just want to do my community shout out that I always do here with this segment. And my community shout out of the week is going to go to my good friend Aaron, aka AA Comics. Aaron has been just an awesome person to the community. I've been talking with him I feel like probably since the pandemic is when I first met him virtually over on Instagram. He was doing some live streaming. I know he has a YouTube channel as well that he was doing content for fairly consistently. I just looked now. Seems like he hasn't put anything out in the more recent times, at least on his YouTube channel. I know talking with him that things have been busy, and I totally get that. But either way, it shouldn't stop you from reaching out to him, following him over on Instagram, subbing up his channel. Maybe we can push him over to 1K. I see he's almost at 900 now. But he's just a really great guy. He's truly passionate about this hobby, about comics, about the community. So if you're looking for somebody to talk comics with, he's a perfect candidate to do that with. So I certainly recommend that, and just an overall really nice person to talk to. So Aaron, if you're watching this, thanks so much, man, for everything that you do and continue to do, and putting out great content both on YouTube and over on Instagram. Really do appreciate you, man. So if you guys aren't following him, I put all his information in the description below, and that is Aaron, aka AA Comics. So that's my community shout out of the week. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for that, and hopefully I'm introducing you guys to some people maybe you don't know, maybe you've sort of known, but you haven't really talked to them before. I do recommend you reaching out to them because they're just awesome people. That's why I'm shouting them out. So, but anyways, let's get back into it. My number 5 pick of the week. It is going to go to King Spawn issue number 2. I can't believe I have a Spawn book on my top 10. I talked about one issue. It was King Spawn issue 1 when it came out. I said, why not? Let me give it a shot. When that book came out, I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, and I have to say I loved it. It makes me want to read more Spawn just in general. I know some people here, both in the premiere chat and also just people I've talked to in the community, have recommended that I at least go back and read issue 300 and just kind of go from there, from where Spawn has kind of left off. I know that Todd McFarlane has made these announcements for all these future books that are coming out, and King Spawn really does kick off what seems to be the intro to all these different storylines that are going to be coming out in these upcoming months and years, however long he's planning to do this. But either way, I thought initially King Spawn issue 1 was just a one-shot because of the way that it was the story was told. It kind of broke down each individual character and what was going on in their world and where it was going from there. But it turns out we have a continuing issue here with issue number 2. So very curious to see kind of where it picks up from where we last left off. Todd McFarlane doing the writing for this, along with Sean Lewis, who's also listed here as the writer. Javier Fernandez doing the artwork, which, by the way, was fantastic. And, of course, you have, the variants by Todd McFarlane. Also, Don Aguilo doing a variant as well. But the artwork's fantastic. It is very violent, very heavy topics. Last issue, it was deep. It opens up with this huge explosion. A bunch of innocent people die, and Spawn is trying to figure out basically like who's behind this, why they're doing this. He believes that there's much more to it than just that random act that had happened. So anyways, it's kind of like this mystery murder, along with a lot of other things. But definitely, I must say I was a little confused in certain areas, but not so much that I didn't like it. I think that if you're new to Spawn, King Spawn is a good way to jump into it. And I should have clarified this in the beginning. I'm brand new to Spawn. I have not read any Spawn ever until issue 1 came out. And I just thought I'd give it a shot because it's something brand new. And I loved it. So there you have it. If you're wondering, if you're watching this right now and you're wondering, can you give it a shot? Are you going to be lost? I think you can give it a shot. I do think there might be 1 or 2 things you might question a little bit, but overall, it gives you enough to understand and keep going with it. And then, like I said, maybe you go back and read, issue 300 if you have the time. Kind of go from 300 all the way to what they're at right now. I think they're at like 317 or something like that. So either way, really good stuff. I'm surprised that I really enjoyed it as much as I have. So that is so King Spawn. That is going to be my number 5 pick of the week. Let's see. Going into my number 4, I realize I switched these. My number 4 pick of the week is going to be Eat the Rich, issue number 2. This is by Boom Studios. Man, I was really excited for this series to come out, and when it did not disappoint. Issue 1 left me with a ton of questions, just trying to figure out exactly what's going on. But it is very dark and eerie, and again, just checks off all the boxes for someone like myself who is just really into the horror stuff right now. Sarah Gailey doing the writing for this, Pius Bach doing the artwork. I do recommend you following them over on Instagram. They do a lot over there as well. And yeah, just seeing this artwork here is very creepy. But it's about this girl, Joey. That's who we see here on the cover. And she's basically going to visit her boyfriend's family for the first time. And he comes from a very rich, successful side of what they do. And it's not quite the style that she's grown up to or accustomed to, but she's willing to, put her differences aside and try to make things work. And you start to learn just a lot about the family, and you learn a little bit about her boyfriend and some of the things that he had dealt with in the past. They keep bringing up like that he used to be like an alcoholic. Not sure how that ties into all this. He has a friend, a buddy of his, who he used to kind of get in trouble with, who was at this event that the parents threw. And all the while, Joey was like very nervous at first, but now she's starting to like wonder like just what's going on in general. The help that works for the parents of her boyfriend, they act very weird around her, and they like won't let her do it. Like they want to take her luggage up to her room. She's like, oh, I can do it. They're like, no, like I will take your luggage to your room. Like they insist in a very creepy way. And yeah, so just really interesting stuff. The title itself can give you some hints as to what kind of happens. So there is a little, there are some twists to that, but definitely recommend this. This was a wild read, and again, sticking to the theme of like the horror stuff, very much like King Spawn, which was just very dark. Definitely want to keep reading this. So Eat the Rich, issue number 2 by Boom Studios. That's my number 4 pick of the week. Let's see, going into number 3, these top 3 are very close, very, very close. But my number 3 pick is going to be Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 3, by Tom Taylor, who has just been awesome. Loving everything that he's doing. Fantastic stuff. John Tim's doing the artwork. I really do enjoy that as well. And this is a story about Jonathan Kent, the son of Superman, who kind of now takes over as the role of Superman. And you kind of see these details of Jonathan Kent, who's struggling with how he wants to go about saving the world, or helping the world, I should say, and wanting to do it in a global sense, but also in an individual sense, and just how can he use his powers and not just necessarily stop bad guys, but also help in other ways as well. So some really heartfelt stuff in the last issue where he talks with his dad, Superman, and really questions kind of some things on as to why or why does he do what he does? How does he determine what is worth saving versus what he allows other people to kind of do and save. I don't know. It's very interesting, heavier topics that certainly can, tie into today's world as well. So, but I do like where Tom Taylor's going with this. And I should clarify, I have never read Superman before this series that came out. So if you're watching right now and you're thinking like, well, Justin, I am just not a Superman fan. I've never read it. Don't care about Superman, nothing like that. I will tell you, I was right there with you. I felt the exact same way, did not care about Superman, never really read anything. Obviously, I know from the films and stuff, I know the stories, but otherwise never really cared about the character. And it was Tom Taylor, his writing, that's pulled me in, because Tom Taylor, I'm just obsessed with. And if you are new to my channel, or if you've been watching my channel, you know this. And if you're new to my channel, you'll soon realize how big of a fan I am of Tom Taylor's recent writing. And especially for DC stuff, as I used to not really be a DC person either. So Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 3. That's my number 3 pick of the week. I do recommend it. It's not too late. I think this is only going to be like 8 or 9 issues as a mini series. So, but it's Tom Taylor. I'm sorry, it's Tom Taylor, and I almost said Tom King there. The next one I'll be talking about Tom King, but so yeah, this is Tom Taylor and just some really great stuff. So that is going to be my number 3 pick of the week. Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 3. Going into number 2, it is a Tom King book. I was just talking about Tom Taylor. Don't want to get them too mixed up. Tom King doing a Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, issue number 4. And that's where I mixed it up. So the other one's an ongoing series. The Superman book that I just talked about. The Supergirl book is an 8-issue miniseries by Tom King. And that's what made me interested to begin with. Tom King doing miniseries. He's, from what I've read, I love all his work that he does with the miniseries stuff. I know he's done some really good things with like Mr. Miracle, which that's one I have not read yet. But also just really enjoyed his the Visions that he wrote. I know that people had mixed feelings about his Batman run. I personally enjoyed what I read from it so far. I think I read the first like 5 trades of his Batman run. But anyways, Tom King, I'm all on board for this. And this is issue number 4, so we're already halfway done after this issue. And kind of very similar to Superman, I've never read Supergirl up until now. Up until these past 3 issues before this one. And I love it. This is essentially about this girl who doesn't talk in the narration of Supergirl. It's about this girl that lives on another planet. Her father is assassinated, and she wants to hire somebody to basically get revenge for her dad. And Supergirl happens to stumble onto her planet. And I guess with where she is, she loses her powers and kind of gets stuck there. And this young girl asks Supergirl for her help. She initially turns her down. But then when she realizes that she loses her power, her ship gets stolen, and she can't leave the planet, she's like, okay, fine, I will help you. And so the reason I love this story is the way Tom King is writing it. The relationship between Supergirl and the main character is just so well done. And the main character, like you feel for her. She's like very determined to like get this revenge for her father, but she's also very like new to the universe, I guess you can say. And just the writing and the dialogue between the two, it's just very clever. And that's all I can really say to describe it, other than you need to read it yourself. But it's really well done. And the past 2 issues were kind of like separate issues that kind of stand alone, where they're traveling, and as Supergirl's promised now to like help her get through the galaxy to like essentially help get revenge on her father's killer. And they're learning a lot about each other along the way, and just learning a lot in general. So I'm really enjoying it. That's why it's my number 2 pick of the week. It was almost my number 1. I mean, it really could be a number 1. I always say this, but it really could be like a 1A and a 1B. That's how good it is. So if you guys are not reading Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, if you've never read it, if you're just like Superman, if like you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I've never been a fan of Supergirl, never gave it a chance, this is the time to give it a chance. I think it's well worth it. It's only 8 issues altogether. You're halfway through here, easy to catch up, and I do recommend it. Oh, also the artwork here by Bilquis Evely. I love it. I don't know much about Evely's work. I don't know what she's done other than this, but it's been great. So there you have it. That's my number 2 pick of the week, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, issue number 4. And before we get into the last one here, just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now, the Premiere chat. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here. I do appreciate that. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I've been really enjoying these top 10 new comic book day book lists. So if you guys have any questions, or you're curious about any other new books coming out, or if you just want to talk comics, leave a comment in the comment section below, or reach out to me on Instagram. I'm very live, very active over there. So definitely want to hear your recommendations. Let me know if you disagree with this list. Let me know if I missed anything. And of course, leaving a comment in the comment section does help the channel. So please take a moment to do that. If you get a chance, I really do appreciate it. Also, this Saturday, depending on when you're watching this, this Saturday, September 18th, I will be interviewing my good friend Mark, aka Legion of Comics, over on my YouTube channel at 2 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday for Comic Collector Origins. Really excited about this. Been hanging out with Mark now for a while in terms of, in the chats on YouTube and on Instagram. He's a really good guy, but I want to ask him more questions about his origin story. So if you guys are new to Comic Collector Origins, you should check it out. It's just where I interview friends from the community. We get to know about their origin story, how they got involved with comics to begin with, and hearing just a little bit more about what the hobby means to them. So that'll be 2 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday. And other than that, just thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Let's get into the number 1 pick of the week. And that has to go to, I mean, you probably guessed it. If you're in the chat, you're probably like, okay, well, we know where he's going with this. I really tried to change this around, I should say, but I just couldn't help it. It had to be my number 1 pick. And of course, I'm talking about Nightwing, issue number 84. This is the Tom Taylor goodness that really got me into Tom Taylor and into Nightwing. These last couple issues I just talked about in this list, I was not a fan of, I was not a DC person. And I know I tell this story all the time, but Nightwing 78 is what got me into it. That's what got me into reading Nightwing, into reading Tom Taylor, into giving it a shot, and really now being obsessed with like all the DC stuff. It's just kind of transformed from there. So it's been crazy. I don't think I need to say too much about this. Nightwing 84. If you guys are not reading Nightwing, go back, read 78. You do not need to know anything before that. Just read 78. Go read right through all the way to 84. It's just been so good, whether you are into superhero stuff or whether you're not into superhero stuff. I think it's relatable to anybody. And just the way Tom Taylor's telling the story, the relationships, the characters, the character building, like it's just so powerful. Very, very good stuff here. I see the artwork here for this particular issue changes to Robbie Rodriguez, so that makes me a little nervous, just because Bruno Redondo's been doing all the artwork up until now, and Redondo's just been amazing. He does the cover art here, and it's just been stunning stuff. The teamwork between Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's been just amazing. So, but Robbie Rodriguez, I'm going to give it a shot either way. I mean, I'm diving in, but hopefully it's some good stuff. But yeah, so I'm not even going to get into the details. If you guys are not reading Nightwing, if you don't know how I feel about it already, go back and watch my other stuff, because I've talked about it nonstop. It's a book I truly recommend to anybody, whether you're into DC or not into DC. If you're into superhero stuff or not into superhero stuff, it is something for everybody. So that is going to be my number 1 pick of the week, Nightwing, issue 84 by Tom Taylor. And that'll do it for my top 10 picks of New Comic Book Day, September 22nd, 2021. Like I said, we are getting closer to October here. Fall is just like diving into things. I'm really pumped about the football season finally here and all this other stuff. So it's been really great stuff. Hopefully I see you guys on Saturday for the Comic Collector Origins while I talk with Mark. Make sure you guys go sub up Double A Comics, who was my community shout out of the week. Again, Aaron, shout out to you. And everybody here in the premiere chat, thank you all so much for hanging out. As always, these things premiere at Thursday, 12:30 Eastern time every Thursday. If you guys like these videos, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.